by Azari Joseph right at the body, which is always the best way to bowl a short delivery. Couldn't get out of the way, had no chance. Didn't even know where the ball went in the end. Very good delivery.
Really indulging in the short stuff. It's brought rewards for the West Indies. 48 for 5 in the 15th over. Continue with your query.
If you're a batsman and you've been dismissed, whether you figure you're out or not, you must show some sort of disappointment because you don't want to get out. So if you stay there for 2 seconds and show disappointment, is that dissent?
It's if the disappointment is seen to be a clear issue of not being happy with the decision. And I think that's where the interpretation comes in. So the match referee has to be very careful, will have to use his own experience. Because you're right, someone could have played a bad shot and gotten out and stood your ground in disappointment. But I think it's a different thing, and I think we know enough of the game that you can tell when someone is given out and they stand up and stare straight back at the umpire. I think they're sending a clear message. Or if, as often happens, they're signaling that there was an inside edge or showing the sleeve. I think that is where the authorities quite rightly want to stamp that out, because if you're in an inflammatory situation with a boisterous crowd and a tense match, just standing your ground in disappointment can be seen as inflammatory. So I think that's where the element comes in. Look at Ashley News here when he's given out. And it was clearly a case in that situation where he probably felt he got an inside edge. And he was looking back at the umpire. It wasn't as if he was just walking away and being angry with himself. Jason Holder not reacting quickly enough at slip. Good work, saved the boundary, good footwork by Azari Joseph. They'll be looking to check if that actually went to the boundary or if he was over the rope. It's judged as 350 is up. Good work by Azari. 51 for 5 after 16 overs. But yes, you can be disappointed with the manner of your dismissal, but I think there's an obvious line when it comes to clear dissent and showing some measure of disagreement with the umpire's verdict, and that is what they're trying to stamp out.
I understand the explanation and I agree as well, but at the same time, when you're competing and in the heat of the moment, sometimes you show a dissent, maybe not intentional, but at least, so sometimes it's about discretion. Maybe a reprimand or something as opposed to losing money. I mean, this is the highest level that you can play. And I honestly believe sometimes the match ref is a little bit too harsh.
Well, we were talking about that in the first match with what appeared to be a clear case of a differentiation from the Champions Trophy, where the Sri Lankan captain was banned for 2 matches for a slow over rate, and the New Zealand captain was fined 40% of his match fee. So yeah, you want to see consistency. But in this case, I might be inclined to disagree with you in the sense that I think the match referees, they don't have an easy job, but I think it's very important that they send that message, that dissent. Another simple catch, and once more, the short pitch bowling is finding the Afghans at 6s and 7s, and a 6th wicket has gone down. This time it's Mohammad Nabi.
Another good short delivery by Azari Joseph, right at the body, which is always so important. And all of a sudden they can't come to terms with the short pitch bowling, knowing that we've said before there's so strong square of the wicket on both sides. But there's a different plan. Not very good. Mohammad Nabi is gone for 13, 56 for 1.
Next up. The ball is right hand over, straight to you.
Gulbadin Naib comes to the crease with the situation very different from when he came in on Friday evening. There he was able to accelerate, scored 41, better than a runner ball, to lift Afghanistan to 212. Well, now they've got a huge repair job to sort out. And I'm sure the Afghans would have been delighted if it was 56 for 1, as Kirtley mentioned. It's 51 for 6, and he was premeditating the short ball, almost ducked to a full-length delivery.
Yes, let me apologize to our viewers for that real error. Good delivery. Didn't play it well at all. And just lobbed it up for an easy catch at square leg. Boston Chase. And you quite rightly mentioned, Fazia, I'm sure Afghans will be happy for 56 for 1. But it's 51 for 6 at the moment. And there is some serious trouble here, Afghanistan. Can they dig themselves out of this hole and get to anything respectable?
Got to be sensible as well. Don't want to be wasting all that extra energy. You need to bowl into the body, and that's how we got the wicket. That's how we've seen Shannon Gabriel pick up a couple. Joseph has gotten a couple as well.
Yes, he's just getting a little bit carried away there, Azawi Joseph. Don't need to do that.
Tension is settling down, it appears, from Asar Zazai. But just to finish off that point before stint comes to an end, I think your point is made about the emotion of the game, and if you've played a poor shot and you're disappointed in the context of the match. But I think the reason the rules are there is to prevent inflammatory situations and to not be seen as openly questioning the umpire's decision. Not that they're beyond reproach. We see that very often. Sometimes they get things wrong and we talk about it, but always try to put it in context in a responsible manner. But on the field, in a potentially inflammatory situation, you could create an unfortunate situation by showing dissent to an umpire's decision, even if it happens to be wrong. Slow ball to finish up the over. 52 for 6 after 17. Time for a double change. Let's see if it brings about any change in fortunes for Afghanistan. If not, could be a very swift end to their innings. Jeffrey Dujon and Barry Wilkinson.
Thank you, Fazir Mohammed, for that dissertation on conduct. Current rate going at 153, where Afghanistan could get. They've been losing wickets at regular intervals. Time to see if they can put together a partnership between these two. West Indies have managed to keep the pressure on, and they're pretty good shape at the moment, Barry.
And there we can see Shannon Gabriel now coming back onto the field after pulling up in the middle of one of his overs. He's back on and hopefully back to fitness, if not full fitness, certainly back to readiness to continue. Here's Ashley Nurse. Straight away, Gabriel's into action. Testing that side strain, Jeffrey Dujon.
Yes, well, hopefully he won't have to bowl again in this innings. 4 wickets to get.
Next time. Lightly. Yeah.
Harry Joseph, 2 wickets already for
Call early, boys.
just 4 runs in his 3 overs.
He's got that fine. Just get a couple of runs. Jonathan Carter into action.
Keep going out, sleep.
Jeffrey, the difference here that you've seen from the West Indies bowlers today, you would put it down to the aggression in their bowling?
I think it's a combination of things, Barry. They have been aggressive. They have gotten a number of wickets with short pitch deliveries. But I think what they've managed to do is to be a bit more consistent with their off stump bowling. They've set predominantly offside fields for the seamers, and they've bowled to them in the main. They've bowled to them quite well. Or the Afghanistan players aren't that prolific through the offside, so it's been easier to contain them. And if you look at where they've scored most of their runs, that heavy bias to the onside is not there. 18 overs gone, 55 for 6.
So Afghanistan wickets have fallen quite quickly. That's why they're 55 for 6. And again, Joseph is just finding the right line of length today, Jeffrey.
Yes, that's where he's got to look to focus. Indians are bowling much better lengths when they bowl at these batsmen. Seen that many runs being scored in the onside, they force them to play into the offside or force them to play balls of very short length, which are directed straight at them, and they haven't really responded too well. They've tried to pull or hook, to fend, and I think it's just basically kept them off balance. And as a result, there have been no partnerships of note. Wickets have been falling, and as the pressure mounts, it makes it more and more difficult for the batsmen to cope with conditions, because they really would like to try to score a little bit faster.
That popped up, but it managed to perhaps get into some vacant real estate. Good bowling again from Azari Joseph. He's putting it on the right line. Has the pitch played much different to Friday?
I really don't think so, Barry. It doesn't really have a whole lot of pace in it. The bounce is consistent, which is what you want, but I haven't really seen anyone able to hit through the line, so I tend to suggest that the ball is not really coming on to the bat.
It'll be a wide, and is. Let's have a look at Alzari Joseph's wickets. Picked up 2 for 5. This was the first. Fending off. And a good catch there from the keeper. And this one went straight to the back square region. Taken there by Roston Chase. 2 for 5 in 3.3. Azari Joseph, a young man who's come under the tutelage of Winston Benjamin. Rose to prominence last year in the Under-19 World Cup in Bangladesh. And he's in the West Indies team for the last 9 months. Didn't have a good Super 50 this year. Having said that, he's been improving. And I know Winston Benjamin is working a lot with him. So too is the current bowling coach, Roddy Astwick. If the West Indies do limit the Afghans to a low score, you would reckon that Rashid Khan will come into play much earlier than he did in that last match. In the last match, he actually was, I think, the sixth bowler used. If they were chasing a low total tonight, you can bet your life that that's not going to happen. So dot ball to end. 19 overs gone, 56 for 6. This is how Rashid Khan got his 7 for 18 on Friday night. He bamboozled all of the batsmen. We weren't sure if they were getting leg breaks or googlies. Certainly had them plumb. Ashley Nurse. Then the final wicket was Miguel Cummins. Rashid Khan 7 for 18, the fourth best figures in one international cricket history. Pads on, he's scheduled to perhaps come in next. I'm sure, Jeff, you would have been impressed with what you saw on Friday.
That's a really difficult question, Barry. Can't think of anybody who wouldn't be impressed with that exhibition. It was clear that none of the batsmen were picking him. Length was good. He certainly confused all the batsmen he bowled to. But the way things are going here now, he'll have a much smaller total to defend, or should rather have a much smaller total to defend, and as a result he'll probably have to bowl a ball that's a little bit newer than he would really want.
He went to bowl in the 23rd over in the West Indies innings on Friday night. As a point of interest, the lowest total here at the Darren Sammy ground is 149, which was when 146, correction, which is when the West Indies lost to England in 2009. 57 for 6, 20 overs gone. So we've only had 4 boundaries in this innings from Afghanistan. They're 57 for 6 and struggling at the moment. Top score of 13 there from Nabi. The other batsman just not even getting into double figures. West Indies fans have come to give them some support. Joseph has got 2 for 5 now, his 5th over. Much better crowd that we have here today than we would have seen on Friday night. hit that straight, and it's gone for 6. Just over the long on boundary. The first 6 of the innings. And Naib, who had a very good knock on Friday, looking to open his shoulders now.
As well, this was right up in the slot. Over pitching Alzari Joseph. And Naib just getting that front foot out of the way. Straight back where it came from.
Almost predictable that you would have seen the short ball.
Naturally aggressive player, Naib, at this stage he's going to look for any opportunity to open his shoulders.
No.
41 not out in the previous game. Knows how to stick around and look to score off anything that's in his arc. Strange that he hasn't had a dart at one of those short balls through mid-wicket so far.
No.
Well, he's got an 82 not out at his highest score. Was against Zimbabwe earlier this year. Correction, last year. He's in 82. He's also scored a 51 against Ireland, which was this year. About 2 half centuries batting in the middle. Average is just 19. But I guess he's a useful batsman to come at this time, especially when the team is in trouble, just like he did on Friday. This is in the air, but I think it's going to fall safely.
Yes, that's the delivery I was talking about. That's the one he's waiting for. Scored very heavily through there. Natural for him to just open himself up and hit towards mid-wicket. 21 overs gone now. 65 for 6.